Hello there everybody, how is it going and how have you been? I am EuclideanSqd, and we're back here in Duel Links to cover a new event in an old category, the Duelist Chronicles Welcome to Duel Academy. Now, this is the newest of the Duelist Chronicles style of events, and this one actually takes place during the GX anime as opposed to the original anime. Specifically, this one covers the first season of the GX anime, starting with Jaden's duel against Dr. Crowler, and covers most of the important duels therein. Like other Duelist Chronicles events, including the one that I covered many months ago, the gameplay is pretty simple. You participate in duels outside of the event to gather dice fragments. You spend those fragments to roll a die and get either a 1, 2, or 3. Advance that many spaces forward down the path, and whenever you hit a space that says stop, you stop and participate in a duel that is themed around one of the aforementioned important duels from the anime. So this first one, for example, again, is Jaden versus Crowler in the very first episode. The one at the end of the board is Jaden versus Chaz in episode 2, and so on throughout the event. And otherwise, it's pretty simple. There are other styles of spaces, so for example, on the space with the die, you get support items, which lets you just roll a 1, 2, or 3, like right then and there. They are consumable, so once you use them, they are gone. There's spaces with these arrows, let you move forward that many spaces. It's typically 2. I don't think it's in this event, but I think I saw one that's a 1. But anyway. The coin spaces give you more coins to spend in the lottery. Treasure spaces give you loot. Spaces with these guys are just NPC duels that honestly kind of slow the event down, and I really don't like them. And this space takes you to a special bonus room that I don't think was around when I covered this event last, so we will be going into there really quick. Just as an example, you hit the roll dice button. In this case, I rolled a 3. But I have to stop in front of Crowler because it says stop and participate in the duel. Now, if you want to, you can go through some flavor text that kind of mimics the conversations that happen during the episodes, or you can just click this button and skip straight to picking your opponent's difficulty level. I'm just going to use this alien deck that I've been experimenting with, but there are duel missions you can perform that, if successful, will net you some bonus coins for you to use, and you know what? Yeah, let's actually just this is just a Flame Wingman deck that I threw together. It's not particularly great. I'm not going to show the I can't talk. I'm not going to show the actual deck contents on screen. It's literally just a handful of elemental hero cards that I threw together just specifically for this first duel. Not sure why I decided to switch away from my aliens, because I know that would be able to win, but I'm the one in control. So, Blazeman, Wild Heart, Hero Signal. Alright, not bad. You certainly do not have to follow the duel missions if you don't want to. In fact, I would actually recommend that for some of the duels in the later areas of this event, just because those are kind of I mean, it's like the ones that say use a skill one time are fine, but like there's some that say like use 5 spell cards, or use 5 trap cards, or inflict 5,000 points of battle damage. And if you want to try for them, go for it, but you will still get a bunch of Millennium Coins just for defeating your opponents. Normally, the duel missions are literally just bonuses. So I'm going to go ahead and fuse for an Elemental Hero Nova Master, hit Crowler in the face because he didn't play anything. Get another hero signal, set that. The idea of this deck is to try and create a Flame Wingman as quickly as possible, just to satisfy that one duel mission, but also because Flame Wingman is capable of dealing effect damage if my opponent is playing stuff in defense mode. Here's an Avian. I'm going to normal summon a woodsman and see if maybe that prompts him into doing something. And actually, because I'm pretty sure that's an ancient gear soldier, I'm going to attack with woodsman. Yep. Because ancient gear soldier has 1300 attack. Skyscraper says that whenever an elemental hero attacks, if its attack is lower than the target, it gains 1000 attack points. So even though Soldier was in defense mode, because Woodsman is weaker, it still got a 1000 point boost to destroy Soldier, and then Overmaster could win. So, there we go. Easy duel. The decks aren't that difficult to defeat. Some of them do have very difficult skills, like I think it's in Area 3? The Area 3 Chaz. He has a skill that just summons a VW Tiger Jet, I think it's called, on the 5th turn. And that monster, he can just discard a card to change your monster's battle positions around, and it likes to show up just as you get your big monster out. So just be mindful of things like that, but if you lose, it's really no big deal. All that happens is you just get bumped back to space, and you just have to spend some dice fragments to move forward again. It's barely any loss at all. Oh, I actually forgot. There's also these storybook spaces. These will cover scenes that are not duels, so to say, but they are otherwise important events that happened during the course of the anime. I just kind of skipped through them, but if you want to revisit any of them, you could just go in here and check out each of the scenes. They will all be cataloged for you to reviews, not really watch again whenever you want. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that because this is the first treasure room that I'm getting to in the event, I have to stop there. Future treasure rooms I find I can go past. So those support die you get to basically let you just move forward 1, 2, or 3 spaces, whatever you choose to use. I'd recommend using those to try and get into treasure rooms because the only duel is at the end, and it is loaded with Millennium Coins, so this is your ideal time to just gather up as many coins as you can to increase the amount of stuff you can get out of the lottery. Out of the lottery. Ugh, can't talk. It is almost 3 in the morning, so there you go. Probably why. So I'm just getting tons of Millennium Coins, and typically the Duelist at the end of the treasure room will also give out a lot of Millennium Coins when you beat them. And I'm not sure if they changed it, but I'm pretty sure you do have to defeat this Duelist to actually leave the treasure room and go back to the main areas. So in this case, it's the Ojama brothers. Yep. Excuse me. The important duelists in the main event only get out 150 coins for beating them at level 40. But the duelist in the treasure room gives out 250. So that's a significant amount considering that it takes 300 coins to get 10 prizes out of the lottery. So that's technically 8 prizes right there, considering it's 30 coins an item. And let's see, so Land of the Ojamas, huh? In that case, I'm going to set Karibo and just let you attack first. Okay, you're creating an Ojama Knight. I'm fine with that because I have a Skyscraper. Discarding a card to summon Ojama Yellow. Ojama Magic, let's add a green, a yellow, and a black, I'm guessing. Yeah, there. Alright, so I am going to be taking 2,000... Oh no, that's right, Kuribo's effect blocks all battle damage for the rest of the turn after it's been destroyed. Alright, so let's go ahead and activate Skyscraper. Go ahead and normal summon a Woodsman. Because of his Ojama Country Field spell, my monster's attack and defense are flipped. Attack the Ojama Knight. Skyscraper's effect boosts me by 1,000, so I deal 500 damage. And he's trying to protect himself now, which is fine. I'm going to use my Woodsman's effect to add the other polymerization in my deck to my hand. And then let's go ahead and fuse the Woodsman and Burstina tricks in my hand to create Nova Master so I can start drawing cards. Now, unfortunately, Woodsman is not strong enough to punch through an Ojama, and Skyscraper will not boost him because Ojamas have no attack power. So, need to just kind of rely on Nova Master and... Okay, don't know why you flipped that, because now I can just attack you anyway. Yeah, let's go ahead and use Woodsman to recover the polymerization I just used last turn. Set this, because why not? And 3 monsters attack. Get rid of all 3 of those. Resummoning Knight, taking out Nova Master. I will go ahead and use Hero Signal to summon... Do I want Flame Wingman? No, I want an Earth Monster. Oh wait, no, I have an Earth Monster. So... I'll just summon a Captain Cold. Alright, what I would like to do is fuse Woodsman and Avian. Avian in my hand, please, to create Elemental Hero Gaia. And when Gaia is fusion summoned, I pick a monster that my opponent controls, cut its attack power in half, Gaia gains the difference, and this should be more than enough to knock out the Ojamas. So, battle phase, Gaia attacks. Oh, no, he's living by 100. So in that case, Avian takes out the green, Captain Gold goes in for the win. There we go. The Treasure Room Duelist is not particularly difficult either. Although I suppose that if I hadn't had Skyscraper in my starting hand, that Ojama Knight could have been difficult, but this is also a slapped together deck. It's really not meant to be used outside of this event anyway. So, there we go. 250 Millennium Coins, and we're right back out here in the main area. And that's basically what most of the event is going to be, is you rolling die, progressing down the path, participating in duels. There are 5 areas. So there's the entrance exam, and then there's 4 areas after that. They all have the exact same map. There are 2 important duels each, save for the last area where there are 3 important duels. And other than that, there's really not that much else to say about the gameplay in the event, so let's go ahead and go over the cards. So in the card lottery, there are a bunch of new cards. First off, we have Elemental Hero Chaos Neos. This is a level 9 Dark Warrior fusion with 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense. It is a combination of Elemental Hero Neos, Neospatian Dark Panther, and Neospatian Glowmoss. And it is special summoned out of your extra deck by shuffling the 3 above cards you control into your deck. You don't use Polymerization or any of their actual fusion cards. It is a contact fusion similar to what the Gladiator Beasts do, and other Elemental Hero fusions, for that matter. During the end phase, you shuffle this card back into your extra deck, so it only sticks around for 1 turn, unless you have certain cards that say otherwise. But when you do, you set all face-up monsters on the field. So, if your opponent is using equip cards, or has a monster that has otherwise been increased by some sort of boosting effect, or whatever, Chaos Neos can reset it, although you do lose Chaos Neos in the process, so that's not particularly great. But in addition to that, once per turn during your main phase, you can toss a coin 3 times. If you get 3 heads, you destroy all monsters your opponent controls. If you get 2 heads, for the rest of the turn, the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls are negated. Or, if you get 1 head, you return all monsters you control to the hand. There is no effect if you get 3 tails, so technically speaking, there are 75% of the outcomes are good, if you count nothing as good. But there is that 25% chance of completely shooting yourself in the foot and returning all the monsters you control to your deck. So, if you want to use Chaos Neos' effect, just be mindful that while you have good odds, they're not perfect. Next, we also have Winged Karibo level 9, a light fairy. During either player's turn, as a chain link 3 or higher, you can special summon this card from your hand. So basically, in case you're not really aware, chains basically work when you activate a card in response to another card. So, for example, say my opponent tried to use a spell card. I could then use the counter trap card, Magic Jammer, and that would create a chain of 2 cards, with my opponent's spell being Chain Link 1, and Magic Jammer being Chain Link 2. So, effectively, you have to do that, and then you can chain Winged Karibo level 9's effect on top of Magic Jammer to special summon it. Now, it says Chain Link 3 or higher, so if my opponent activates something in response to the Magic Jammer, I could then activate Winged Karibo level 9's effect to summon... Bleh. Basically, once you get to at least 3, you can special summon Winged Karibo out of any chain that you need to. I'm just going to leave it at that, because I can't enunciate what's going on in my head. Anyway, spell cards that have been activated are banished instead of being sent to the graveyard. And the attack and defense of this card are each equal to the number of spell cards in your opponent's graveyard times 500. You can only control 1 face-up Winged Karibo level 9. So, a little bit of an odd monster in that its power is tied to how many spells are in your opponent's graveyard, but it then keeps your opponent from sending more spells to the graveyard to make it even stronger. So, a little iffy on that. Not entirely sure how strong Winged Karibo level 9 is going to be. It might be good in a mill deck, where you can just force cards from your opponent's deck into the graveyard. Because it only worked... sorry. Winged Karibo's banishing effect only works on spell cards that they activate. So, if you make them discard from the hand or from the deck, they do go into the graveyard, but it's just... It's a little bit of a weird card, that's all. Interesting, but weird. Anyway, next up we have Indomitable Fighter Lele. This is a level 4 Earth Beast Warrior with 2300 attack and 0 defense. If this card attacks, it is changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase. This card's battle position cannot be changed until the end of your next turn, except with a card effect. And there is one particular card in the game that works very, very well with this guy. We'll get to that in a moment, though. Next, we have this very odd spell card, Sabatiel, the Philosopher's Stone. If you have a Winged Karibo monster in your graveyard, pay half your life points and add a Polymerization spell card or a Fusion spell card from your deck to your hand, except for the card Diffusion Wave Motion, because that's not actually about fusing, it's just a card that happens to have the word fusion in there. So, that's kind of an interesting spell, but more than that, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 3 copies of the Philosopher's Stone from your graveyard, target a monster on the field, and it gains attack equal to the attack of the monster on the field with the highest attack power until the end of this turn. So, very odd in that it can help you find Polymerization if you have Winged Karibo in your graveyard and are willing to give up half your life points. And likewise, if you have 3 of them in your graveyard, you can give your monster a boost, a very powerful boost, but good luck getting that to happen, considering you have to pay half your life points every time you activate one. So, I don't really know how to feel about this card. Probably going to be used for fusion seeking, if even that, but just seems kind of weird. Moving on, There's also Protective Soul Eileen. This is a level 1 light fairy with 0 attack and defense, but it is a union monster. And once per turn, you can equip this card to an Indomitable Fighter Lele that you control, or unequip it and special summon this card back to the field in face-up attack position. When equipped to a monster by this card's effect, you can change that monster's battle position once per turn. And what's more is, if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle, destroy this card instead. So, Eileen is the monster that is meant to work with Lele, and that you summon Eileen in some additional way, equip it to Lele in the same turn, and then you get a 2300 attack point monster that attacks. It gets switched to defense mode, but then you can use Protective Soul's effect to put it back into attack mode before your opponent can take advantage of the very low defense. And then other than that, there's some new normals that aren't great. There's a new fusion that has 1900 attack points, so not good. There's Aki Beam, which has 1550 attack, 1650 defense, but is a 5-star monster, so very, very bad. And in addition to that, there's just a bunch of cards from the last couple of times the card lottery has been around. So stuff like Fusion Sword and Resame Blade, Dark Hunter, Bone Temple Block. All of these are cards that have been in previous lotteries that are still around for you to get more copies of if you managed that. Oh Lord, I cannot talk. If you didn't get enough the last time that they were available. And let's go ahead and just spend 300 coins, get 10 items, and see if we get anything interesting, shall we? Now, if you see that lightning effect, that does mean that you have gotten one of the super rares or ultra rares that are currently available. And we got a Dark Sage, which is something that I already have 4 copies of. Alright, I'm going to put 300 more coins in and see if I get anything else. Nope. Okay. Luck is not with me tonight. I'm going to save my coins for later. But, however, there is one more thing. Every time you clear an area, you get a reward. Now, that is technically true for the first 5 times you go through. However, after that, the only reward you get is once you clear the 5th area, and it's only a bunch of rare jewels, so it's not really that great. But most of the area clear rewards are going to be gems, items, or cards from the card lottery, except for one specific thing. The first time that you beat Area 5, you get this card. Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, one of the mythical Sacred Beast cards from the show. I believe this is an actual card, and I'm pretty sure I actually have a copy of it somewhere, but anyway. This is a level 10 Fire Pyro monster that cannot be normal summoned set. Must be special summoned from your hand by sending 3 face-up trap cards you control to the graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other means. This card gains 1000 attack for each continuous trap card in your graveyard. Once per turn, you can target a set spell trap card your opponent controls and destroy it. Neither player can activate a spell or trap card in response to this effect's activation. So, kind of difficult to special summon, considering you effectively tribute trap cards, but they have to be face-up trap cards. Now, one thing to point out is that there are cards in the game that are trap cards, but then special summon themselves as monsters. So, like for example, there's Tiki Soul, there's Tiki Curse, I think Embodiment of Apopus counts because it is a trap card, but I don't know if it's a continuous trap card. Because it is very specific. Like, if you have any normal or counter trap cards in your graveyard, those don't increase Uriah's attack power. Only continuous traps do. So, very difficult to summon monster, but could be pretty powerful. Possibly. I mean, put it this way, if you do send 3 face-up continuous trap cards to the graveyard, Uriah is going to start off with 3000 attack points right off the bat. That's already pretty good for a special summoning. And likewise, just destroying a set spell trap card your opponent controls for free and there's nothing they can do about it is amazing. It's just actually getting this thing out onto the field that's going to be the hard part. But that's the only way you can get Uriah right now, and I'm willing to bet that Uriah is going to be treated very similarly to Slifer and Winged Dragon of Ra, in that this is the once you get a copy, you are never going to be able to get a second copy. So there is that. So if you are going to use this in a deck, try to plan around the fact that you're only ever going to have one. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that's everything there is to the event. If I'm forgetting anything, there will be some text coming up on the side of the screen over on the right side right now, because it is almost 3:15 in the morning, and it's entirely possible that I'm forgetting something in my tiredness. But I wanted to get this episode recorded, just because there is a new main box releasing pretty soon. We'll probably see the pack opening episode tomorrow, as a hint of how soon that main box is coming. But there you go. That's the Duelist Chronicles event. Kind of an abridged version, considering I'm pretty sure that I covered it in depth a few months ago. But it's also a fairly simple event for how complicated it looks. So, anyway, with that, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all have a great day. I am going to bed, and I will see you all next time.